What's going on, Junkie Nation? We're joined by Corey Anderson, who's got a big fight coming up on March 22nd. Karl Moore is his opponent. They'll be battling for the vacant Bellator light heavyweight title. What's up, Overtime? How are you?
I'm good, man. How you guys?
Good to have you as always. You always bring the energy, you always get me pumped up for your fights because you kind of spell things out like with facts and stuff, And I wanted to ask you, you've been down this road before. What have you learned from those two opportunities? One was like a number one eliminator with Blachowicz. The other one was the fight with Nemkov. What have you learned from there that you can apply to this fight where you know you're going to get your hand raised on the 22nd?
Biggest thing I've learned is train like you always train. And that's it. I know it's a Nemkov fight. The last Nemkov fight, we was battling injuries going into the first Nemkov fight, and they told me we're gonna run it back right away. So like there was no point in going to get surgery or PRP, anything, stem cell, none of that. Just get right back to the gym and start training to stay in shape. And so our goal with the coaches is we're gonna try to make it to the fight. We don't want to get hurt. Let's make it to the fight. So we didn't really train hard. I didn't box spar one time. I think I hit mitts maybe one time. The rest was flowing on the noodles. We just worked on wrestling and jujitsu. Like we got to play it safe. We can't get hurt and lose this opportunity. There wasn't much else to learn from the fight. We mauled him in wrestling. We're gonna go out there and do it again. That's where he had a whole 2 rounds of me wrestling and grappling and to learn from. And he went and he did that. He learned from it. And then they kept pushing the fight off, and he had more time to heal as I was just making my injuries worse. And like I said, just playing it safe. Like I wanted to push hard, but I was scared if I pushed too hard, I wasn't gonna make the fight. And they can get a title fight to somebody else. And this, I've never pulled out of a fight. So I trained a little different. Like I trained hard, but I didn't do what I need to. Well, that's what I learned. Like we can't do that again. No matter what, injury, no injury, we going out, we're gonna train 100%. If we end up getting hurt, we get hurt. We'll deal with that when we get there. But we're not cutting it short no more. We're gonna box spar every week. We're gonna kickbox spar. We're gonna MMA spar. We're gonna wrestle hard. We're gonna do jujitsu. We're doing pads every time with 16-ounce gloves, so my hands is right. I feel fluid. I'm confident, comfortable, and that's where we are. That's the biggest thing I learned. Like no matter what, don't count your chickens before it hatch. Because in my mind it was nothing this guy can do. We already showed in the first fight. We can go out there and just maul him again this time. I counted my chickens way before it hatched. And he did the opposite. And he was prepared to work and do what he had to do to go out there and beat me the next time. And that's what he did.
That badge of honor of never having pulled out of a fight, I hear it a lot from the wrestling community. I mean, I applaud it, but could you and wrestlers almost be your own worst enemy by powering through rather than healing and resting up or getting a surgery for a nagging injury, and then being 100 when the time comes to fight for gold?
100%. We are definitely our worst enemies when it comes to that. And that's the wrestling mentality. It's hard to get past it because, especially if you're like me, wrestling since third grade all the way through your senior year in college, that's just what it is. Like, I coach college wrestling now, and I hear coaches say all the time, like, yo, are you injured or you hurt? Are you injured or you hurt? Like, can you keep going? All right, let's go. Let's push through it. It's only going to last for so long. You're only going to be hurt for a little bit. The match is 7 minutes, and you'll be fine after. And it's like, very rarely do you hear a kid. I actually had one of my kids to go for like third place as All American. They're like, nah, my shoulder's screwed. I'm done. I injured the 46. I'm done with it. I'm cool. My senior year, All American, I'm fine. I just looked at it, you know what? I respect. I'm not gonna push you. I'm not gonna make you do anything. This is your body, your career. If you're happy with it, congratulations, son. Congrats on All American. Let's get you taken care of. As for me, I would have been like, nope, I'm going. I'm gonna risk it all. I gotta go. I gotta go. But like I said, it can't hurt me.
Corey, one thing that will always stand out to me was you talking to us one time and telling us essentially you were in a camp for over a year. You didn't have that break. What was it like pulling out of that and kind of getting back to normal? Did it almost sour you a little bit on MMA? Like what was that feeling like?
It was exhausting. That's what it's really like. It's still even till now. It's like this buyout and this long layoff. Haven't been in camp. I've been training and stuff, but like it's exhausting because like I got a wife and kids. My wife been wanting to do this girls trip with her friends. It was like, when can we schedule? Like, I don't know. We don't know. So when you're in there for a year, You keep saying you're gonna fight, you're gonna fight. We're gonna get to a fight. You don't know. You're just training, and you're going hard the whole time because it could be next week, it could be next month, it could be 2 months. You just don't know when they're gonna call you. It gets very nerve wracking, especially when you're putting your body through the ringer and you're only getting paid when you fight, unless you got a good sponsor that's paying you monthly, which I didn't have at that time. I do now, but it's like you just grinding for that moment that hopefully it comes. Just waiting for the call. And they call it and they pushing it back a little further. And they're going over and over and over. Then you get in there. It's like a sigh of relief, but at the same time, it's like, I got another fight to get ready for. Because at that time, I was in the tournament. And I was like, I got to get ready for it again. And so I didn't lose focus, but at the same time, I was just tired of it. It's like I just want to go on a break. I want to take a vacation, but you can't take your foot off that gas because you never know when they're going to call you again.
Karl Moore, he's a tough fighter. He's a southpaw. A lot of fighters find that annoying. But you've had so many fights, Corey, that I imagine you've just about trained for everything, seen everything. But are there still things that kind of catch you off guard by your opponents when you're doing tape, when you're preparing for them?
No, not really. Like I said, I've had enough fights where I've seen it, I've done it. Like I said, I've been in the game for 10 years in the big time. Since UFC Bellator for 10 years, I fought 2 or 3 southpaws thus far. One of my main training partners, I've always had Karl Roberson, who was 85 UFC southpaw. We trained daily, but for some reason going this fight, like I was confident we'd be fine, but for some reason I felt like having only Karl and I got this new kid, Nick Galante, that trains at one of our gyms, was enough for southpaw. Like I want to make sure, like I said, I want to make sure every dot is crossed. We train as hard as we can. So I went to Vegas. I was reaching out southpaws, looking for southpaw boxers, southpaw from MMA. So I went to a different gym instead of String Victoria to spar. Found southpaws there. Came back. I was flying. I got here, Rolling Dunlap. Nah, he fought PFL Challenge Series, Karate Combat. Have him come out with southpaw. Find southpaws in Philly. Kyle Dawkins, his former UFC guy. This other southpaw that was out there, long, tall, heavyweight. Like I'm finding as many southpaws as I can, so I'm doing every session, jiu-jitsu, striking, drilling, wrestling, everything I'm doing from a southpaw position. So when we get in there, we don't run into anything like, oh, we ain't seen that before, because Karl didn't do that. So we brought so many different guys in and out, going to their gyms, coming back. So I'm prepared. No matter what Karl Moore throws, I'm 100% sure I got the answer for it. I'm ready. I'm not going to be caught off guard. I got the foot game down. I can box spar, straight box spar southpaw. I can kickbox with the southpaws. And MMA, I got my takedowns and everything solid now. So I'm just ready to go out there and show it.
Corey, there's some fighters that spend their entire career, well, most of 90% of their career in one organization. And then there are some that have been able to kind of fight in different ones throughout their career. We're talking to Dan Henderson. He did Strikeforce. He did Pride. He did UFC. This is still under the Bellator banner, but I know eventually you're going to get your PFL scrap in there as well. What do you think? Is it a little bit of a badge of honor to kind of have been able to experience all these different time periods in mixed martial arts, these different organizations?
I think it'd be pretty cool to say you fought under so many. I think of stuff like that. I think about Eddie Alvarez, a good friend of mine, training partner. And it's like when I left for UFC, my thing, like I want to be UFC champ, I want to be here. He said, man, you want to be the champ, but it's about who's gonna pay you the most. At the time, I'd been in every organization there is. Like it's never like I didn't have any problems with them. It was like who's gonna pay the most, and it's cool to say I've been the champ in just about all of them. So if you can go out there and get paid somebody or the same amount or more from somebody else, you go. Let's take that experience. Go meet different people. You might see one organization might be better than the other. And as for me, I was actually glad I took that advice because for me, Bellator has been amazing compared to my experience in the UFC. Like who knows? I can go to PFL and it'd be even better over there. And that's just something I'm looking forward to see. We'll see. I can go over there, it could be worse. I can go over there, it'd be better. It'd still be cool just to say at the end, like I fought for all the top brands. I literally fought in all the top brands except for one FC at this point. So it'd be cool to have that on my resume as well.
Because you were sharing with us that you have a little inconsistency in getting fights. Once you're done with, the Bellator Championship Series, maybe you have to defend if you win, on the 22nd or whatever. Will you be interested the following season in the PFL regular season format where it's pretty consistently laid out? You get 2 regular seasons and 2 possible playoffs and then the $1 million prize. Is that attractive to you?
Yeah, if I got to the point where I've already beat everybody to be beat in Bellator and there's like hard to find who's going to challenge Corey next. And yes, 100%. That would be something I'm interested in going. I've already got my belt here. I go get a championship belt, do another tournament, be my third tournament in my MMA career. Go out there and win this one, win two. I won the Ultimate Fighter, lost the Bellator Grand Prix, win the PFL tournament. That'll be something else to put on my resume. And again, to do a tournament fight and my contract is already set, that's just a lot more money per fight. You got, just like you said, the schedule is already set. So you know you got at least 2 fights to make it to the playoffs. Then you got the 2 more fights or 3, whatever it's going to be if they expand it. That's just a lot more money and a lot more fights I can get before I'm done.
And then lastly, one day would you like to follow Nemkov to heavyweight, either to just fight him, because I guess we can say it's 1-1, or even possibly be an Ngannou opponent. There's a $2 million payout there, or just because Overtime wants to test himself in a different division.
I mean, like you said, people ask me all the time, would you ever go to heavyweight? But a lot of people don't know is I debuted at heavyweight. I was a heavyweight till I got to the UFC. I had never cut weight before until the Ultimate Fighter. That was my first time. And I got it figured out. I stayed there. I started a job here, and I got to finish this job. But after I get the belt, anything is possible. You know, they give me the opportunity. Hey, you want to go to heavyweight and fight Nemkov? 100%. Let's go. If you want to go to heavyweight, I'll fight Nemkov, I'll beat him, whatever it is. All right, let's go. We're going to put you for a title fight. Whether Nemkov got a title or Bader, whoever it is, then, you can fight Nemkov. I'm down for whatever. But my thing is I have to finish business at 205 first. Yes, I would love to get that revenge against Nemkov and show like that first fight wasn't a fluke. Second one, I just wasn't as prepared. Third one, I'm leaving no stone left unturned, and I'm going to get that W. And then from there, Nemkov, whoever got the belt, whatever it is, I'm all for it. But first things first, we got business to handle at 205. Then we'll move from there.
We got 30 seconds, so it's got to be a quick one. But if you win on the 22nd, because the UFC's had so much turnover, would you consider yourself the best light heavyweight in the world?
I've said it before. Me in every interview I know I'm the best in the world. I don't have to go out there and boast it and shout it anymore. Every time I do it, just turn them over. You're not in the UFC, this and that. It doesn't matter who's in the UFC. I think the PFL and Bellator's roster is better than the UFC. As I just said, the belt keep going back and forth, and there's nobody there that's just set solid. And it's the dominant champ over there right now. And I just feel like I'm still in my prime. I can beat anybody on my best day, and most of them on my worst day.
We're out of time, so thanks for the time. Overtime.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.